Welcome to lockdown vlog number 22. Yesterday, of course, I made a video about some snake oil, about some cables, and of course there were some of the usual reactions to it. And of course I'm dying to get into those reactions, but I'm not going to. But there's just a few things that I need to say. Please, if you react to a video like this, just saying cables do not make a difference, it is not an argument. So please explain why you say that or don't say it at all. And the other thing is, if you say, well, I had some friends over and we did a blind test and they couldn't tell any difference. Well, that's also not an argument. And to be clear, I am not questioning the experience that you had. I'm questioning your conclusion. If you are saying they didn't hear a difference, therefore it is you who is biased, there's a lot more to that issue. There's a lot of things that are wrong with blind tests. So I am going to make a video about that, and I'm still figuring out how to do that because there's so many angles to that topic, but not for today. For today, because this morning I was watching a video from Michael Fremmer about an audio show that he attended, and it made me realize again that the 2020 Munich high-end show is not going to happen this year. So what I did, I picked some pictures from the past years that I have been going to the Munich Hi-Fi show. And oh, by the way, I'm at 745 subscribers at the moment, so thank you very much, all of you. Back to my story. I thought, well, let me get a few pictures and try to explain why I think it is, why I find it important. No, that's not what I'm going to say. Why I find it interesting to go there, to go to those kind of shows, and I tried to pick some pictures that will explain why I like to go there, because there's still a lot of people that will say, well, I cannot afford a system like that, so why would I go and listen to that? Yeah, and of course I cannot afford a system like this, but you know what? For €10 I get to spend a day together with all this wonderful equipment, and I even get to listen to it. So, for example, this is a setup. Over here you see the chairs where people can sit. They have all these things, all these wonderful amplification, and you are able to go and sit right over there and listen to a system like that, and it will only cost you $10. That's it. So another thing is that listening to this, some people will play the usual songs, but sometimes they play something that bijvoorbeeld this Global Criner. I did this in one of my 3 CD Friday videos. I picked up that song where they had a Tiroler version from a Madonna song, Like a Virgin, and it was played on this system. And I was sitting there, and slowly but surely this number builds up from being normal to being like really a folk. Well, it was amazing, and it put a smile on my face. And if I had not go there, I would have never discovered this band. Now, there's no particular order to these pictures. I just picked them up, so I'm not sure what the next picture will be, but I'll just try and make a story about it. Okay, well, this is maybe a little bit too dark, but this is probably the one that I would like to finish with. But over here there's Condo audio. You've heard me talking about that. In this room there is over $1 million of equipment, and this is also the best sounding room for me that year. And you get to listen to wonderful constructions like this. This is the same. Over here you see the loudspeaker that I just showed you, but this box right over there, that is the subwoofer. This thing will go low, that thing will go low. And okay, so here you have a record player, of course. This is a great thing. You can see, because a guy is standing next to it, you can see how big this is. Now this is just for a demonstration. You see, you are not allowed to go in or touch it, which is of course understandable. These things are expensive. But these are things that normally you only see in the magazines, and now you can see it in real life. Over here you see the lady standing next to it. This is the stroomtank, and this is a power regenerator, which is crazy big, and it looks beautiful. So the first 1 or 2 years I only have seen it standing on a display like this, but the last time I was there, a lot of systems were actually playing with the stroomtank. There's a lot of wonderful headphone manufacturers. In this case, this is Stax, of course. Stax has all their complete line set up in a little room, and you can listen to all of those. Not just look at it, you can have a listen to it. And they make sure that when there's, for example, 5 headphones in there, they will only let 5 people into that little room, so it's not crowded. You're not just doing 20 seconds because the next one is standing. No, you can take your time. Over here you see somebody sitting, listening. You see the Stax over there. He's having a Stax on his head, and the cabin that there has glass windows. So over there is one of the walkways where people are just walking by. And so in all silence you can have a listen to a very expensive headphone setup, and you can have a look at the people walking by. There's also a lot of people who display their audio racks, and one of my main issues with any audio rack is, how do I get behind it? So these are people that have a system that you bolt onto the wall, and then you can just open it like a door, make all the cable adjustments that you want to, and then you can just close it again and fill it up with everything that you would like to fill up. It is so interesting to see and feel and experience those things in real life instead of watching it on a Pinterest or another photo community. So over here you see a very big box. You see somebody standing next to it, and a crazy great horn next to it. Now, of course, these are the extremes. There is also Denon and Marantz. They are there. But, you know, that's something that you can listen to at somebody's home. But this is something you cannot just experience. These are the things that you want to go for. And they are not only on display, they are actually playing. So for me, this is not about can I afford this. This is about listening to something that you probably will not have a possibility to in any other way. Maybe only because it's not even distributed in the country that you live in. Alright, so this was a guy, maybe you recognize him, I forgot his name. He had his wonderful Nagra reel-to-reel with it, and he was playing from his own collection actual master tapes. So, whoa. actual master tapes, so not a copy from the master tape, but he was playing actual master tapes on a great system, which is an experience you never get to. And for just $10 you do now. And you get to see these kind of interesting concepts, and sometimes even in production, yeah, what shall we call it? Looks like an amplifier, but you never see one of these. You of course get to see the big boxes playing. Now this is a DIN Audio classic. Classic, I mean, this has been on the market a long time. Those are the things that you have read about. I have heard this thing maybe about 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And then sometimes they will bring one to a show like this. So these are things that you have been reading about for years, and now they actually brought it. I remember from the demonstration that I went to 25 years ago, there was actually a choir standing in that room because of this DIN Audio and the wonderful DIN Audio amplification that they had on it. Well, you can get, there's a lot of equipment that is made so you can look also inside how things are working. That's something what I like. And then over here you see some people standing, so you can see how big this system is. This is officially, and these are from 1920, 1930, these are officially used to be from behind the movie screens, and somebody is bringing that in there and actually playing it. And if you want to learn about what is dynamics in audiophile sound, if you have never heard a system like this, you do not know what dynamics are. I even had to make a panorama photo of it because this system is so crazy big, and you get to listen to it just for $10. Alright, there's a lot of people who are displaying their acoustical solutions, and this is a wonderful wooden construction that is just hanging there. You can look at it, you can see it, you can feel it, you can ask questions about it. It's just wonderful. This is a CD player. This is a wonderful extreme CD player, and now you get to see it, you get to touch it. Well, they don't really like you to, but sometimes they don't mind. They'll get to play your CD on it if you want to, and you get to see it in real live action. Of course, a lot of equipment with the lid off, so you can have a look inside, and what a wonderful way things are being made. Oh, this is interesting because this guy is having a setup where he displays the image from his microscope, in this case about a needle from a record. This was video, so it was hard to get a still picture, but over here you see his microscope. Under that he was showing you something, and then it displayed on the screen what he was doing, and you could ask him questions, and this is where you get upfront with the experts. What else do I have? All right, so there's always people thinking of new ways to construct a loudspeaker, and they will sometimes prototype, sometimes production types, but they will play it and they will show it, getting a feel what the people think about it, but you get to listen to it. I believe this was an amplifier. Alright, you get to see all the different cables, and of course the ways that you can keep your cables from the floor. Now, whether you believe it or not, you get to see it in real life, and I think that looks is also a big part of if I'm looking at my system every day for 30 years now, so trying to make it look more beautiful, even without sounding more better, is a part of it. This is a headphone amplifier. And it's just standing there with a headphone attached. You can just pick up the headphone and have a listen to what this thing sounds like. Or they show you these super tweeters where you can have all the knobs to make sure that it will fit your loudspeaker seamlessly. Let's see. Another headphone amplifier. Probably you have never seen it, but you will see it right over there. Alright, there was, which is for the Audiophile Barista, of course, interesting. There was a barista, an Nespresso Machine, and they had this. If you can look up there, this was Bryston, by the way. They had a lot of humor, and they had this plaque: top 5 no-goes on any playlist. Because for those of you who have been to these shows, they always play the same song. So Dave Brubeck, Take 5, no go. The Eagles, Hotel California, please stop playing it. Livingston Taylor, Isn't She Lovely? It's a lovely song, but if you play it everywhere, every day. Niels Lofgren, Keith Don't Go. You Masakila, Coltrane is of course an impressive song, but if you heard it 15 times, you are done. And all Diana Krall. So this is also humor. So what else? Alright, B&M is a very high-end system, and they even rented nearby a big warehouse or something, emptied it, and had their complete lineup playing for you. This was also an amazing experience. And then you have these kind of loudspeakers. These are of course the extremes that you will never encounter in real life, and now you get to see them and you get to hear them. And last but not least, there is of course a lot of music that you can pick up during these shows. And now this is the last. So this is all PS Audio. You know I have a lot of PS Audio power equipment. And yes, you get to meet a lot of the big boys running around those shows. And this is what, for me, why it is interesting, attractive, why I like to go to shows like this, where you can sit in the middle. In this room, I was the only one. It was a small listening room. I was the only one sitting right in the middle of a good system, and not just this one system, but maybe you have 20 or 30 of those experiences in one day. This is where they played this album, Analogic, and which is a great album. So I get to listen to it. Somebody puts it on. They ask you what do you want to play, and mostly what I do, instead of telling them, well, this is my CD, can you play this song, I'm always trying to say, well, surprise me. And they surprised me with this album. This is a very interesting album with strange noises and an acquired taste, but I liked it. I even bought it. Oh, and here's another classic, of course. This is a beautiful thing. This is something you only see in pictures, and then all of a sudden you are sitting there listening actually to this classic loudspeaker, something you have been dreaming about. I have been dreaming about for maybe 20 years, the Nautilus from BMW. So this is why I think it's so interesting to go to these shows, to listen to what is possible, to listen to the things that you have been reading or hearing about. And just for $10 a day, I think that is a very good investment. Now, of course, I have to go to München and stay there, but this is an experience. This is like a holiday for me. So for me, this is, I can buy one expensive cable, or I have 3 of these heavenly days, and I will go to München every time instead of buying another cable. Okay. Well, a long one today, 20 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. And so I say thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.